Welcome back to Fire Princess Reviews. I'm Fire Princess Lily here to tell you about comics, cartoons, and other awesome nerd shit. So, today is Wednesday. That means we are reviewing That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. We're actually doing the last 3 episodes because I missed 2 weeks of episodes because of depression and being overworked at my actual real job, which is here. So, that's what happened. So, the video might be a little longer than usual. Might be about the same length. We'll see. We're definitely going to kind of give more broad-strokey opinions, but there's still going to be spoilers about each episode. So, if you haven't watched the episodes yet, go do that. Come back, and we will go over them. That's how we do it around here. But if you have watched them, I hope you're ready to talk about this and get into it, because here we go. We're reviewing today episode 11, Gabaru is Here, episode 12, Spears Out of Control, and episode 13, The Great Clash. All 3 are great episodes. Some a little better than others. I feel like episode 12 is not as good as, is not as well-paced as the other 2, and that's because kind of how they cut the story into these episodes. So, some episodes are going to be slow, some episodes are going to be fast, and that's just kind of how that goes. Oh, in case you haven't noticed, even though we're not reviewing Doctor Who until next week, I'm still wearing my brand new 13th Doctor shirt. This I got for Christmas. I love it so much. It's so good. I can't wait for the special. Anyway, moving on. So, episode 11, we get introduced really formally to all the Kijin and, what they're doing. So, Karobi has, started working with Kajin and his brothers in the forge. He apparently has, a good knack for it, so good for them. Shuna is making clothes for everybody, and the village is really coming together. Shion is taking over the responsibilities as secretary for Rimuru, managing his schedule, things he needs to do, and it's really funny to kind of watch Shion and Shuna kind of fight a little bit over Rimuru. This definitely is in no way a harem anime. But there are these times of where people are just where these particular 2, I should say, are very protective of Rimuru. We see a little bit of that in this episode, Gabaru is Here. So, while I love Shion, and I think she's the best girl, we really find out, what she's what people should be afraid of. Oh! Sohei is doing scout work, and the other 2 are sort of advisors. Benimaru and, I want to say his name is Hokuka. It starts with an H, and it's kind of long, so forgive me. Anyway, yeah, so there's a little kind of argument between Shuna and Shion about who's taking care of Lord Rimuru, and Shion just sort of wins in the end. She, whips him up like taffy into her arms and walks away. She's best girl. I'm sorry, I don't care. And she makes him a meal, which none of the other Kijin Oni want to touch. And Ruru's what's going on? And when it comes out, it is super disgusting. It is awful. And real bad. It's groaning at Rimuru, whether or not the meal is actually groaning or if it's all in his imagination from how disgusting and terrible it looks is not known, but this is what we see. We see everything from his perspective. So he's not sure how to get out of it. He's basically been abandoned by Benimaru and the older guy, whose name I can never remember. He's cool. I really like him. He just has a difficult name to remember. So Rimuru's talking with the Great Sage, which I don't know if we've ever touched on it. The Great Sage as a character by itself is actually really fun, just in the way that it can be like a little snarky, and sometimes it punishes Rimuru for not knowing things, and it's a lot of fun. So the Great Sage is like, look, just close your eyes, stick the spoon out, and you won't die. And he does just that, and he hits Gobta. Boom, square in the mouth, and everybody watches Gobta fall over, foam at the mouth, and they presume he is dead. It's really good. So when Gobta's knocked out, Rimuru decides to go through town and tell Xion, look, I appreciate what you do for me. Don't cook. Don't cook anymore. And she's very defeated. But he gets informed in his walk that a group of lizard men are approaching. This is Gabiru. Because he's been going to different villages, recruiting goblins to fight the orcs that are coming. And so he shows up, and the other lizard men are like shining their bright shields on him, like giving him spotlights, because they really love Gabiru. Gabiru. They really love him, and they're just like, this is our guy. He's the best. He's going to be the next lizard chief for fucking sure. So, there you go. Want to say stuff, but I won't say stuff. Part of the spoiler thing. Anyway, so he shows up and gives this great speech about how he's Lizardman, and he's like leading an army. He's fighting all these weak, defenseless goblins to come join them so they can survive the orc army. Of course, he's speaking to Ranga, who is a Tempest Wolf. He's speaking to Sohei, Benimaru, Hokuga, which I think that's his name. I'm probably wrong. And Xion, who's holding Rimuru, and Rigger, the big hobgoblin, muscled chief. And so he's just speaking to them. It's a speech he must have given like several times, since he's already recruited several goblin villages. And it's like, you guys are weak and pathetic, but we strong lizard men will protect you. And then he kind of looks at the group, and it's like, oh no. He turns to his friends, he's like, where are the goblins? Like, these are the goblins. And like, yes, work for me. He's annoying, but he's got a lot of heart. And so he's trying to address people as the leader of the village, and they're like, nope, it's the slime right here. And it's like, a slime? A mere slime? Obviously, it's tricked you somehow. No worries. I'll defeat it and save you. Of course, everybody is super protective of Rimuru. Like, to the extreme. There are, dark auras everywhere, and, there's, angry eyes, and Ranga is the one to, kind of stepped up. He's like, oh, you think you can command me? And it's at this point that Gobta shows up. Apparently, the food didn't kill him. It gave him poison resistance, which I'd really like to talk a little bit about how Gobta evolved differently than the other goblins. The other goblins got, nice-looking faces and more human, features. And Gobta just kind of looks like a taller goblin. And that's because he evolved in a way that, while it didn't necessarily change his physical form too much, it made him really adaptable. Adaptable? Yeah. He adapts well. Yep. And I think that it shows really well in this episode, because just eating bad food once, poison resistance. And he learns how to move like the Shadow Wolves. And his sword training really improves his skills a whole lot, a huge level. So Ranga grabs Gobta. He's like, here, defeat this goblin right here, and maybe I'll consider your offer about, leading us. And Rimuru is like, oh, this is a great idea. This is great. I know exactly how this is going to go, and this issue will solve itself. And so Gobta's like, why should I have to fight a lizard man? And Rimuru's like, if you do it, I'll make Carol V make you a brand new store. He's like, yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm a little motivated. He's like, and if you lose, you have to eat more of Shion's cooking. And he's like, anything but that. So he like goes Super Saiyan a little bit. Like his aura goes crazy. Shion gets pissed and starts squishing Rimuru. It's great. She's like, I'm angry for some reason. So Gobta and Gabiru face off, and it is over super quick. Shadow Step, kick in the back of the head. It's over. Gobta wins, and everybody praises him, and the only one who's surprised is Rimuru. He's like, oh, that's not how I saw everything on. I thought the Kijin were going to step in and, like, beat the fuck out of this guy. Whoop. Good job. I'll give you your sword. And so the Lizardmen take Gabiru, and they're like, we won't forget this. And they run away. Gabiru wakes up later and decides that Gobta was the actual leader of the Goblin tribe, and it was an all trick, and how dirty and unfair. Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. He is met with Laplace, who is part of the clown troupe, who's kind of pulling some strings here and there for Demon Lords to make things happen. And Laplace is like, look, you're a strong guy. You're totally just as strong as your father was in his prime, easily. Your father's getting on in years. You should go be the new chief. Why wouldn't you be? Like, take the burden off your father. You got enough troops that you've massed. You can take on some measly orcs. It's like a whole thing. And Gabiru is so fucking full of himself from getting pumped up by the other lizard folk with him that he's like, yeah, I totally could be the next chief. Fuck yeah. Meanwhile, back at the Goblin Village, Rimuru is talking with all of his advisors, which of course include not only goblins, hobgoblins, Kijin, and his dwarf friend, that's everybody. Kajin's there too. So basically, all the important players are, seated at the table, talking about, well, what are we going to do about the orc army anyway, since apparently they're actually really a threat. And Sohei says there's like 200,000 of them, which is fucking stupid. And they kind of decide, well, if shit goes bad and comes towards us, then we'll do something about it. And it's at this point that a dryad shows up. Of course, first she approaches Sohei, so she doesn't just appear in the middle of everything, but without any kind of intro, and he kind of introduces her. And this is Trainee, who a lot of people really like from the manga. I like her too. I don't necessarily think that she is the best girl like some people do, but hey, everybody has an opinion. And she's like, hey, so that Orc Lord, we Dryads might be able to take him, but we'd rather not let it get to that point. You're super powerful. You're the reason that the Storm Dragon of Eldora is no longer among us, so I'm going to ask you to take care of it. And he's kind of milling it over a bit, and before he can say yes or no or let me think about it, Shion steps up and she's like, of course Rimuru can do it. He can take on any measly orc lord, orc whatever. And it's really cute because she just believes in him so hard. I love it so much. Yeah. And so, yep, they're in the war now. So Rimuru's like, fine, yep, I'll do it. How can I not do it with my subordinates believing in me so fucking hard like that? Because he's a good guy. I really like Rimuru. And he says to Sohei, so, I don't want to deal with Gabiru at all, but it might be a good idea to make a deal with the lizard folk as an alliance against this threat, more safety in numbers sort of thing. Could you just go speak to the chief on my behalf and see if we can broker some kind of deal, see what kind of man he is, and we'll go from there. So Sohei shadow jumps over that way, and he's like, he does a whole introduction. He's talking with the lizard chief, and the lizard chief's like, and and you really, like, believe in this man, like, not knowing that Rimuru is a slime. And he's like, and so he's like, yeah, fucking course I do. And he will fucking save you if you let him. Of course, one of the lizard guards is like, you're talking way too, like, blah, blah, blah to our chief. We don't need any help. And he's thinking about attacking Sohei, and he's like, I don't believe in it, you're a master. And the lizard chief was like, whoa, hold on. Hey, don't kill him. I know you could. And, like, there's, like, a thin line, like a razor string, like, across this lizard guy's neck. And he's like, I was just really angry about how he talked about Rimuru. Like, you can't talk badly about the slime with the Kijin around, because they go nuts. It's true. So, the chief's like, yeah, I definitely want to enter an alliance. And so he's like, cool. So what you're going to do is, it's going to take us a couple days to get here. I want you, while I'm bringing my master back to sign the treaty, to, like, hold out in your, like, tunnels and, like, you know, a war of attrition, sort of, like, make them come to you, fight them in your tunnels. That way they can't overrun you, and we'll be here to, you know, sweep up the pieces, more or less, and help out. And they agree to that plan. Like, the chief, the lizard chief, he's got, like, a really level head. And then Sohei leaves. And so, they're doing what Sohei says. Like, they're letting orcs come into, like, the tunnels, and then ambushing them, and working their asses off to kill these amped up orcs, because of course the Orc Lord gives them power. That's when Gabiru shows up and fucks it all up. He shows up and he's like, I'm taking over, you're old, I'm not, we don't need to be fighting in caves, they're just stupid orcs, we could take them. Dad, sister, you other fucking people, you're all going in the dungeons. Poof, and he does it. Like, he leads a coup. And then he goes off to fight the orcs, and it doesn't go well for him at all. Like, they're fighting, and they're winning in some cases, but then they watch as the orcs eat their own men, because that's kind of how the Orc Lord works. It's an ability called starvation, where they gain power through eating their foes and their allies, and it makes them stronger. Then they're eating lizard men, and they're gaining the abilities of the lizard men, web feet, and like claws, which will help them move through the marsh. It's a bad situation on all fronts. Now, the daughter figure of the lizard chief has actually escaped, and she is fighting a pack of lizard men, not lizard men, of orcs. And so I was like, hey, that guard chick, that guard girl who was standing next to the lizard chief, she's fighting a pack of orcs on her own. She's not doing too good. Should I help? And I was like, could you take him? He's like, fuck yeah, I can take him. Like, it's great. And he does, and he saves her, and they go into an alliance immediately because Shion forces them into it because she really believes in Rimuru. It's a lot of talking. And so, using Shadow Step and other various techniques, the forces of Rimuru arrive on the battlefield. Just as Gabiru, after Gabiru has found who he thought was the Orc Lord, he's like, you're the Orc Lord, I'm going to challenge you to one-on-one combat because I think I can take you, and that'll end the whole thing, which is a great idea. But it's just like an Orc General, and he even tells you, he's like, no. I'm not the Orc Lord. I'm an Orc General, and I am vastly inferior to my Lord. But if you want a one-on-one fight, I'll do it. And so, it doesn't really go good for Gabiru. He gets in, like, some amazing, like, spear attacks, and he really tries hard to, like, catch this Orc General off guard. It just doesn't work, and just before he can die, Gobta saves him. Blah! And Ragna shows up. It's really great, and you watch in the distance as Benimaro is just blowing orcs to nothing with his fire attacks. It's great, and we get to watch Shion, like, fucking cleave a whole battalion in half. Like, she just cuts a really good line through them. It's, like, amazing. And Ragna unleashes his, what is called a death storm, and clears a whole swath of the field. All because they talk shit about Rimuru, which you can't do. You can't do it in front of, like, his people because they're protective of him because he's, like, a really good dude who has shown them this amazing kindness and granted them this power. So, yeah, and that's the episode ends with Rimuru spotting the Orc Lord, and hopefully next episode we'll get into the Orc Lord fight. I don't know that we actually will. It's hard to say. It's hard to say with how it's chopped up. I do like that we're here now, though, because we're going to have to see some really awesome action from Rimuru, either next episode or the episode after, depending on how the structure of the episodes go. But yeah, definitely check it out. Watch it. I'm so excited to talk about it next week when we talk about this anime again. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the episodes. Is there any cool part that I particularly missed that you hoped I would have talked about? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Doing that now. I'm trying to remember, so subscribe. But until next time, I'm Fire Princess Lily. Love comics, love cartoons, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!